Per 9000's Game Room.
When I originally did my review of Total Carnage, I said the following. I said that I really wanted an excuse to come out with the gem, big money, big prizes, which you may realise is of course from this game, Smash TV, a game I really love. I love it because basically it's based on the Arnie film The Running Man, which is not only a film I adore, but is also based loosely on the book The Running Man, which was written by Stephen King under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. Basically, he used a fake name because some people had said that his writing wasn't actually that good, and if it didn't have his name attached, it wouldn't sell. So he came up with the name Richard Bachman to basically prove that he could make it again. When I reviewed Total Carnage and said that I didn't actually own Smash TV, I guess that was some kind of tempting of fate, as pretty much immediately after that I walked into a local indie game store and they had a PAL cartridge only copy of Smash TV sat there on the shelf, and they were asking £12 for it. Now, this is going to sound kind of silly, but I remember back when I was a kid, everyone owned Smash TV and you just couldn't get rid of it. The thing was practically worthless. The kind of worthless where if you tried to trade it in for another game, it would only get you about £3 worth of credit towards that game. So really, you were better off keeping it just in case you might ever, just maybe one day want to play it again. I have no idea how or when I got rid of my original copy, but knowing me, I probably got a good deal for it. And it's not worth worrying about those sort of things. The funny thing though, is despite liking this game, I haven't brought a copy while I've been collecting, because I just haven't seen it for a low price. Even £12 kinda seemed too much to me, but I managed to talk them down to £10 in the end and decided that I wanted it. Okay, so in both my Total Carnage review and the above quote from it, I've set the scene as far as this game's story goes. So just to quickly recap, the story is that you're a contestant on a game show where they're trying to kill you, and if you can survive and kill the enemies, then you get money and you can win toasters and cars and stuff. Smash TV was originally an arcade game in 1990, which found itself ported to the Mega Drive, or as our American friends would call it, the Genesis, the Master System, the Game Gear, and obviously the Super NES as well. I'm here talking about it. It also made its way to various classic game compilations and download services over the year. The arcade version was created by Eugene Jarvis and Mark Turnell for Williams, and it's a sort of, well, kind of a sequel to the game Robotron 2084, which was also produced by Jarvis. It's a sequel in spiritual terms, that is. The SNES conversion was handled by Beam Software, and they did an excellent job of converting the game. Basically, if you like the arcade game, then you'll like the SNES game, as apart from a few cut corners and a bit of Nintendo-style censorship, it's very much the same game. Beam Software kind of got bought and sold and moved about and renamed Infogames Melbourne House, then Atari Melbourne House, and finally Chrome Studios Melbourne. And the trail of them releasing games goes kind of cold around 2007 though, with several sources saying that the studio finally died its final death in 2010. In terms of gameplay, the game is fairly straightforward. If you've played a twin-stick shooter in the past 30 years, anything from Robotron to the Geometry Wars games, then you'll know exactly what you're getting. Yes, the SNES doesn't have a second stick, but its 4 face buttons are placed in such a way that by pressing either one of them or a combination of 2 at a time, you can shoot at every possible angle. The game is fast, fun and responsive, and most importantly, it has the best quality any arcade-style game can have, and that's the ability to easily pick it up while being difficult to master it. But it also has an overall feeling of fairness. Yes, it's hard, but you can see that although the game slams you pretty darn hard, you can keep progressing and getting further if you try, and there's no wimping out and picking an easy difficulty here. You know, the game is pretty darn tough on all 3 difficulty settings, but you can't complete the game by playing it on easy mode. If you choose this mode, you get a shortened version of the game featuring only the first stage with a few less enemies, so really they should have called Easy Practice mode. I played the living heck out of this game as a kid and never managed to finish it. You need to remember that this game was born in the arcades, and so it was designed to make money, so really the quicker it could get you killed, the more pennies it would grab. The bosses in particular are complete bullet sponges, who just when you think you have them beat, start shooting even more determined to take you down with them. If you want a challenge, then you have one here. It's also a great cooperative 2-player game. Speaking of other players, while I was playing this game to review it, my 15-year-old daughter walked in the room. And soon she was having a go herself, and then I practically had to tear her away from it just so I could actually go to bed. and the very next day she was asking if she could go in my room to play the SNES and try and do better on Smash TV. 4 years has passed since I originally wrote this review, and still, if I mention Smash TV, she's up for a game on it. Okay, so for those who are really into graphics and sound in games, how does Smash TV stack up? Well, graphically the game is pretty simple, with the main player characters and the regular enemies not being much more advanced than stickmen. But the game really does flood the screen with them, and their tiny size just helps to make the large boss characters all the more impressive. But yeah, this certainly is not the game to use to show off the SNES graphical grunt work. I find the music to be very basic but also extremely catchy. I've caught myself humming it when away from the game, which I think always says something good about a piece of music. It's basic, but it suits the mood of the game perfectly. And you will find it in your head after you stop playing. Speaking of sound, some of the most impressive things about this game sound-wise are the digitised speech samples. They really help with the game's feel and atmosphere. Little snippets like hearing the host say, "Good luck, you'll need it," really add to the game. I find that I can't help but give this game a hearty 8 out of 10. Sure, it's not perfect, but it's darn playable. And as far as co-op shooters go, it might just be one of the best on the SNES. It's funny how this game now seems to be a bit of a pain to get hold of, when I can remember people practically using it as a doorstop back in the day. Second-hand shelves and bargain bins used to be absolutely full of this game. But I guess it just goes to show that you never know how hard or easy it will be to grab something tomorrow if you don't get it today. If you want a cartridge-only copy, around about £10 like I spent is probably the best you can aim for. And it might take a bit of waiting and looking, as plenty of people seem to be asking for around £18 to £25 for even loose carts. Are they actually getting that for it though? Well, who knows? People list stuff up on eBay and Amazon for crazy prices, some of which never ever sells. So it's very hard to assign a proper worth to anything. If you just want to play the game though, you can look on the Xbox Live, Arcade and various compilation discs, and you might save yourself a few quid or bang a few extra retro games for your cash in the process. Which route you go though all depends more on if you're a collector or a player, but either way I recommend you give Smash TV a bash. It's a good fun game. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off saying keep on gaming.